If you follow our channel, you know that we are all about the van life and the flexibility it gives us and living in a tiny space and making the most of all of our adventures. I have to admit, for the past month or so, we've been trying to figure out how do we attach a deck to the back of our van?
Yeah, as you can see, we are lounging on our lovely deck here. It's actually, unfortunately, not ours. It's attached to our friend's fifth wheel, where we have had the honor of spending the last month sort of living in this condo on wheels and really getting a taste of what fifth wheel life is like.
Yeah, a big shout out to our friends Todd and Kim, who have let us not only stay on their property with our van, but then we essentially have kind of moved in part-time into their fifth wheel. And not only is this a fifth wheel, but this is the exact opposite end of the spectrum from our van. It is a fifth wheel toy hauler. It's 43 feet long, it's triple axle. It's massive. So that is something that we've sort of found ourselves migrating into it more and more. We started just working in it, and then we started sleeping in it, and it's been a little scary because I'm thinking you're getting used to fifth wheel life.
Yeah, it really is. I sort of jokingly said condo on wheels, but I'm pretty sure square footage wise, it's about the same, if not more than the first apartment I ever had. So it's a bit of an adjustment, both pros and cons, but there's definitely been some bonuses to it, but also a few things that have taken some getting used to.
And we'll get into some of the bonuses here in a minute. I think the biggest downside in anything when you make a change, if we were to go to something this big, is it would completely change our lifestyle. Obviously, we are so used to getting the last camping spot at a campground because they only have this tiny little one left, or maybe it's made for tents and we can just park there with our van. Or going down the road when you go, hey wait,
stop, look,
it's the largest fill in the blank. I need to go see that. So we make a U-turn and we go around and do that.
Or ice cream. Yeah. Did you see that ice cream shop?
Ice cream shops are a big stop for us. So that's, I think, the biggest change in terms of it would change our lifestyle. And we'd be towing and we'd have to think about, a big truck to tow something this large, that kind of thing. That's obviously the big downside, I guess, would be to having something this big to live in.
We tried to walk through and we're originally going to plan to give you like 3 things that we liked and 3 things we didn't like. And at the end of the day, all of those really things came down to dedicated space.
Seeing people's rigs in campgrounds and how they've set it up is a great opportunity. Seeing them at an RV show is the next best thing, but there is nothing like actually spending time in a rig for a few weeks and really finding out what you like or what you don't like about it if you were to go shopping for something. Dedicated space is a big part of that. If you've not seen it, we have a video where we give a tour of our van, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. But a big thing about that is there's no dedicated space. So the living room is also, my office, and the front cab is also your office, and
the bedroom.
Well, and the bedroom, yeah. And one of the things I still think one of my favorite
things, and the kitchen is the shower.
One of my favorite things we've ever done in a video is when we were giving that tour, and you were showing everybody how you had the kitchen set up, and you're like, okay, now let's go to the bathroom, and you literally turn around and go, and we're here. So that's just something you get used to in van life. But let's take a look inside this behemoth of a fifth wheel, and we'll give you some thoughts on things that we could really get used to if only we could fit them in the size of a van.
Right.
And then it could expand when we got there.
I mean, I still think we could figure out how to put a deck on the van if we really thought about it. So give us your ideas, because I'm kind of curious.
Any engineering wizards, send us your blueprints.
We mentioned the deck, and this is really nice. As you can see, it drops down, and it also really is the ramp. So if you have toys, that's how you'd get them into the garage. But we've really enjoyed sitting out here, having dinner and just sort of relaxing in this space. This is really nice. And now from here, we can go straight into my office. As we mentioned, dedicated space is really one of the things we probably miss the most in our van. And so in this, in this lovely toy hauler, we have this garage area, and I've been able to sort of convert it to my office for the time that we've been here, which it has a door. So Ari can work in the living room / kitchen, and I can work out here, and we can be on separate conference calls and meetings, and it's worked out really well. This is also a space that you could use for, any number of other things. Again, whether you're hauling your bikes or motorcycles, or there is a bed in here that you can use. So there's just a lot of possibilities with a garage type space in a toy hauler.
If you've seen our Instagram account, you know that I talked about this washer dryer combo because I'm the one that tends to do the laundry. Not tends. I do the laundry.
Oh, he does the laundry. We're not even gonna, no. He does the laundry. Yay.
And having a dedicated washer dryer in the rig has been fantastic. I could totally get used to that. You have an issue with placement though.
Yes. So at first I thought how neat it's in the garage area and not in the bedroom where most washer dryers tend to be. Downside to that is while I've been in here working, he can't really do the laundry because it's too loud when I'm trying to, work and do calls. And since the bedroom is typically your most underutilized space in a rig, it would actually be nice if it was back there so you could do the laundry during the day and not be bothering anybody. But it is very nice to have this and just not have to worry about trying to find a laundromat.
One of the dedicated spaces I've gotten used to is this giant couch, mainly because I don't have to convert it from the bed to make a couch, to sit on the couch, especially if I get up in the morning before Jesse does and I just want to sit here and catch up on social media or email with a cup of coffee. It's really nice to have this. I will admit publicly, I used to make fun of folks that wanted the electric fireplace in their trailer because I'm like, really, do you really need that? But Jesse's going to swing over here. This one does have the electric fireplace, and on a chilly morning it's actually really nice to have this. You turn it on, takes the chill out of the air, you don't have to worry about turning anything else on. So I was wrong. Electric fireplace, not that we'd need it in the van necessarily, but if you have a larger space like a fifth wheel, it's kind of handy to have it.
It's not necessarily a dedicated space because in the van we still have a kitchen area that I consider good size for for van life. But this kitchen is amazing. It's huge. And quite frankly, I'm 100% sure it is bigger than my apartment kitchen because that thing was tiny. So you've got this lovely island. You've got, space over there, microwave. They've got a toaster oven in here, an oven and a stove, a full residential refrigerator, and a full sink and everything. So it's amazing. And this is actually probably the thing I've gotten used to the most is being able to cook and prep and eat and everything here in this space. And that's going to be really hard to go back to because I've done really well and I do love our van life kitchen, but having a huge dedicated kitchen has been amazing.
A quick side note, because not only do I do the laundry, but I tend to always do the dishes. I say tend. I almost always do the dishes, so let's just go there with that. Having a large sink, and this is actually a pretty good size sink even for an RV, so no matter what Jessie has prepped and whatever size bowl she's used, I can fit it in the sink to wash it. So that is something, if you're looking for a trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, whatever, consider the size of the sink that they put in the kitchen because that can make a huge difference when you're doing the dishes.
Side note, I did wash my lunch dishes today.
We do have a bathroom in the van. We have a toilet and a shower, but again, it's all convertible. So the shower is an aisle shower, which means if you want to take a shower, you have to move things out of the way and create the shower. It has been really nice having a dedicated bathroom with what I would consider a full-size shower. The funny thing about it is when we first got into this thing, I was like, wow, it's a huge shower. How wonderful is that? And I couldn't figure out why people complained about RV showers being small. But after you spend some time with it, you realize you really do bump your elbows a lot in these things. It's not full size like you would see in a home. And so it's something you have to get used to. But they've done a pretty nice job with this bathroom here with a good sized vanity on the sink. It does have a nice size shower overall. It's got the skylight in the shower, which is really nice. There's room for storage. There's room for the toilet. They've done a good job with it. So keep that in mind too. If you're looking at anything, how much elbow room do you have in the shower and in the bathroom as a whole?
Despite everything being tiny, our van life bedroom is actually, works well for us. And, we really enjoy the setup that we have. But I will have to say it's been nice having a full dedicated bedroom with closet space because we know in our van, we just have like the little cupboards with our e-bags. And, you've got like full cupboards and shelves and hanging stuff in here and drawers and everything. So there's more space in this thing than I even would have any clue what to do with. But I could bring more shoes. We have noticed that, it's nice. This is a sleep number bed. That's obviously just sort of a bonus, and we've never had that in one before, so it's just kind of been fun. But you've got nice little cubbies over here. And quite honestly, the best part is we know we've heard people complain about the walk around. So this is a walk around because of the slide. So you can make the bed easier. You can get up and out of bed. You can go into the bathroom. So there are some benefits to that. The biggest benefit to a dedicated bedroom is the door, because when I stay up late and Ari wants to go to bed early, he can shut the door. And when he gets up early and I want to sleep in, let's just say the door has come in handy. Clearly, we've sort of gotten used to fifth wheel life or just something different than van life in general. and we've had a lot of positives experiences with this. But it's just sort of an interesting thing to think about when you're going to shop for a new rig, and whether we're going to do that ourselves or if you're in the process of looking for one or thinking maybe to upgrade or change. A few things that we never would have thought to probably even consider when we were looking, we kind of want to point out, just because having lived in this for an extended point of time now has really given us a better appreciation for the little things.
You mentioned placement of the washer and dryer, and that's something you've said all along. Oh, if I had a washer and dryer, why would you want it in the bedroom? And now you've realized, living with it, it's better in the bedroom than it would be in the toy, if you have a toy hauler, than having it in the garage. One of the things that I've been frustrated by is, and this is not this unit in particular, a lot of the newer units now are going to the touch panel controls for everything, from your heating and air conditioning to your lights. And the number of light switches in this rig is very small considering the size of it.
None or two, like one in the bedroom and the bathroom, and that's about it. Everything else is controlled by that touch panel. So here's a scenario. You get up in the middle of the night, you hear something, kids crying, dogs barking, you need to run out and turn the light on in the living room. You got to trip down the stairs first, cross the kitchen, open the door to the panel, find the panel, type in the security code, find the panel button that's for the interior lights, and then figure out which light you want to switch. By then, the dogs ate the baby, bit the robber, done the thing, all the things, and your lights still aren't on. Just give me a light switch, please.
Yeah, and I would say that also goes for, sometimes I like just having a rocker switch for the awnings. Just, there are some advantages to the touch panel, because I think this one you can hook up to your phone with an app. So there's different controls you could have if depending on where you were at. But all in all, to the RV manufacturers, even if you do the touch panel, give me redundant switches, because I just like hitting a switch.
The third biggest thing is how many times I have stubbed my toe on the slide, because these are not flush slides. I've heard people talk about flush slides, never really understood or comprehended exactly what that meant or why you would care. But I have now hit my toes more than I cared to, because they're not flush. And the way this particular rig is laid out, the couch and the refrigerator are actually set back quite a way on the slide. So every time you go in to get in the refrigerator, you kick the slide before you even reach in. So that's partly a flaw with this design, but also just in general, we would probably look to find a unit that had flush slides, just so that you don't have that situation.
And again, this is a really nice rig. It's got a nice layout. We're not trying to diss this rig in particular or fifth wheel life in any way, but it's just something that when you live in something, you get a better feel for, how something's going to work or not work. And in this case, the feel was in your toe, because you keep hitting it on the slide. And so in van life, we hear people talk about things with trailers and fifth wheels and everything else, and never really had an appreciation for them until now. And I think the same would go the other way. People wouldn't really appreciate the things we put up with, the things we do in van life, unless you're actually living in that small of a space. So the next time people are in their fifth wheel kitchen on YouTube telling me how difficult it is to make things work in a tiny kitchen, I'm going to once again invite them to...
They can come make dinner with me, and then we'll see what happens. But I think overall, you're right. This isn't a knock on any of it. We've honestly talked numbers of times about upgrading to something larger. Now, I don't think we'd ever go this big. I say ever because about the time you say ever, that's the next thing on your list. But we have looked at something larger. But for us, it's just a matter of that travel style. And do we want to give up the things that we've done, fitting in a smaller parking space, boondocking in somebody's driveway, turning around in the middle of the road because there was a cool attraction or donut shop that we wanted to stop at? But I really do appreciate the larger spaces, the dedicated spaces, the sleep number bed, the larger residential refrigerator. Oh, because that's something. I don't need a refrigerator this large, but I sure would like something a little bit bigger than what we have. And I'm pretty sure this side of the freezer is the entire size of our actual van fridge. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. We could fit a lot of food in here. You can fit a full-size bottle of juice in. That would be lovely. But overall, yeah.
It really comes down to stuff that we've said before and other people have too. There is no perfect rig. It all depends on what's your lifestyle that you want. Mm-hmm. What is your stage in life? Do you have kids and you need extra sleeping spaces? Is it just the two of you and you get along well enough to live in a van? Then that's going to work for you. And maybe that season of your life changes, and so your rig might change. So figure out the rig that will work for you. talk to people that have them and see what the pros and cons are. But whatever it is, see if you can get out there. Keep on trekking.
And we'll see you out there.